When my father passed away, he left me something far more valuable than money. He left me our family's 2,500-acre valley in western Colorado. It had been in our family for nearly a century, and every acre carried memories of generations before me. Growing up here taught me the value of honest work. Every fence, creek, pasture, and trail had a story. I promised myself I would preserve everything exactly as my father had. A week later, I began inspecting every corner of the ranch. That's when something caught my attention on the eastern side of the property. Brand new streets and luxury homes stretched across land I didn't recognize. At first, I assumed the development sat beside my property. But the old fence line told a different story. Something felt terribly wrong. Back at the ranch office, I opened decades of family surveys and property maps. Every document pointed to the same conclusion. Those expensive homes were sitting inside my family's legal boundary. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I checked every measurement twice before calling a licensed survey company. If I was right, this mistake was far bigger than anyone imagined. 3 days later, professional surveyors arrived with GPS equipment and decades of experience. They carefully began measuring every corner of the disputed property. I watched quietly, hoping my fears were wrong. Hour after hour, the survey team confirmed the same measurements found in my grandfather's original records. The neighborhood extended deep inside my ranch. There was no doubt anymore. My attorney immediately ordered a complete title search through county records. If ownership had ever changed, it would appear there. We waited for the official results. The report arrived 2 days later. Not one document showed that my family had ever sold those 80 acres. Every legal record still listed Harrison Ranch as the rightful owner. Rather than rushing into court, my attorney suggested we first give the HOA a chance to resolve the issue peacefully. We mailed certified copies of the surveys and ownership records, requesting a formal meeting. I believed reasonable people would look at the evidence and work toward a fair solution. A week later, Karen Whitmore arrived with several HOA board members. Instead of reviewing the documents, they insisted the neighborhood had been there too long to question. My attorney calmly reminded everyone that property ownership is determined by recorded deeds, not assumptions. The meeting ended without an agreement. Karen dismissed the surveys and refused to consider mediation. As we walked outside, my attorney quietly said, "Now we'll let the court examine the facts." Our legal team filed a quiet title action along with a request for the court to officially determine the property boundaries. Every claim was supported by certified surveys, title records, and county documents. We relied on evidence rather than emotion. News of the lawsuit spread quickly throughout the neighborhood. Some homeowners were shocked, while others admitted they had never seen the original land records. Many simply wanted to understand what had happened. The judge ordered both parties to exchange every document related to the disputed land. Over the following weeks, thousands of pages were reviewed. Every new record continued to support my family's ownership. Historical aerial photographs became one of the strongest pieces of evidence. Images taken decades earlier clearly showed open ranch land where the subdivision now stood. The timeline matched every official survey. Licensed surveyors returned to testify under oath. They carefully explained every measurement and every boundary marker to the court. Their findings remained consistent from beginning to end. Karen's legal team argued that the subdivision had existed for years. However, they struggled to produce any recorded deed transferring ownership from my family. The missing documentation became increasingly important. The judge requested additional county records before making any decision. Everyone understood that the final ruling would depend entirely on verified evidence. We waited patiently for the next hearing. The county recorder personally appeared in court with certified ownership records dating back nearly 100 years. Every page confirmed continuous ownership by the Harrison family. The courtroom grew noticeably quieter. My attorney displayed each certified survey alongside modern GPS maps. The property lines matched almost perfectly despite being created decades apart. The consistency impressed everyone in the courtroom. Several longtime local residents testified that the disputed land had always been open ranch pasture before construction began. Their memories supported the historical documents already submitted. Every piece of evidence fit together. The court completed its review after several weeks of testimony. Both sides submitted their final written arguments. The judge announced that a written decision would soon be issued. Walking out of the courthouse, I looked across the valley that had belonged to my family for generations. Whatever the final ruling would be, I knew we had presented the truth with honesty and respect. Now the law would decide the future. 1 week later, the judge issued the written decision. The court confirmed that the disputed 80 acres legally remained part of Harrison Ranch. Every certified deed, survey, and county record supported the same conclusion. The ruling also gave the HOA a reasonable amount of time to resolve the land issue through lawful agreements or relocation if no agreement could be reached. The court encouraged everyone to cooperate respectfully. It was a fair and measured decision. Outside the courthouse, reporters asked for my reaction. I simply explained that I never wanted conflict. I only wanted my family's property rights respected under the law. Many homeowners approached me privately after the hearing. Several admitted they had purchased their homes believing everything had been legally approved. I assured them I hoped practical solutions could be found for everyone involved. Working together with county officials, surveyors marked the official property boundaries once again. New permanent markers were installed so future ownership would never be questioned. Everything was completed openly and professionally. Over the following months, county planners worked with homeowners, attorneys, and surveyors to implement the court's decision. Every step followed the legal process. The goal was to protect property rights while treating everyone fairly.